Hey everybody, this video is going to cover the Sarin blog and the design options that you have in the back end of our ITDR admin. So we're in the ITDR admin and we have the design tab chosen. You could just click this arrow right here and click on the design tab and it'll give you your options for tabs. And under this first tab, the settings tab, we have some of these options. So let's go through them and I'll show you what you can do. So the first one is the blog width, and it's currently set to 949 pixels, and that's going to be this width right here. And you can change that so it's thinner or so that it's larger, depending on what your needs are. So you can go ahead and change the size of the body width. And then you have the body background color, which is going to be this white right here. So anywhere where the content lays is going to be a different color. So let's go ahead and let's change this color so you can see how colors change. Whenever you're changing a color, you have the option to either just paste in a code right here from Photoshop so that you have like a specific color that you want to use, paste it right in, or if you want to use a drop down, you can just go ahead and change it to a specific color. So if I were to come in here and select one of those colors and click save, you'll see that that whole body background color will now change, and so that's all blue now. So I'll go ahead and paste back in the white color that we had set before, click save, and it'll change it again. And then we have the body drop shadow size, which is set to 5, and the body drop shadow color, which is a gray. So when they're talking about the drop shadow, they're talking about this little drop shadow that runs around the body. If you wanted to open this up and make the background white and get rid of that drop shadow, it would just make the body look like it doesn't appear, and it would just be flat all the way across. So you have the option here to change the size. So it's at 5 right now, and if I go ahead and just turn this down to 0 and I click save, you're going to see that that drop shadow just goes away. So you have this white on this gray background. So you have the option to move this up or down, decide how you want it, and I've seen a few photographers actually change the color of it, so it's not a gray drop shadow, it's like a yellow drop shadow or some sort of color that gets put back there. And so you can play around with those drop shadow settings. And then you have the border color, and this border color is going to be any of these accent lines, anything that creates borders between different items, and so you can change that color. If you want it to be all white and you want to get rid of the border, then you just make this color the same as the body color, and it'll get rid of that color for you of that line. You have the social icon color, and if we were to scroll down to the bottom and see some of the social icons that we have available, they are currently set to that gray. So let me actually bring this in a little bit more. They're set to that gray right there, and so you can see that those social icons gray color can be changed right here. And now let's go ahead and go to our contact page, because we're going to start talking about some form fields. And right now we have the form fields background color, which is this white, and then we have the form field border color, which is the gray that wraps around there. So if you want to change those two, you can change that right there. And then if we go back to the home page and we look at the heading right here, the heading background colors, which are these dark black colors like that. I'll bring this in a little bit more so you can see a few more of them. Like these right here, we're going to go ahead and change that so you can see what that looks like. So I'm going to change that to like a yellowish color and click save. And so you could change any of those items right there in this field right here. I'll go ahead and paste back in our black color and click save. And so any of the header options, any of the header tabs, the title tabs and stuff that have that black field around them, you can go ahead and change that. You have the space between the posts images, so that's this space right here between these images. If you want to make it smaller space, you can make that smaller. If you want to make it larger, you can make it larger. So you determine the height of the space between each image, so you can change that here. And then you have the header arrow images. In our demo, we only have one image in here, so it's not changing. If you were to have more images, there would be arrows on either side, and you could change the color of those arrows so that you can fit them best on your images. So that's this settings tab. The logo tab has a few options too. You can upload a logo just like this. It could be a ping or a transparent ping or a JPEG, and it'll be put right in this top left corner. If you don't have a logo and you want to just type your studio name, you can just do something like this, type your studio. It will default to a serif or sans serif, and you can change that option here. And then it'll say your studio right here. You can put your name, whatever it is that you want to type right here. You could also change that color and that size, so you have a little bit of adjustment. If you want to upload a custom font for that, and you don't so you don't want to do like a JPEG or a transparent ping, you want to use this where you type in your name, you can upload a font here. We cover that in other documentation, so I'm not going to cover that here, and I'm also not going to cover this fonts tab because again we go into more detail in another video. So we'll go ahead and leave that for another video. But we're going to go ahead and go to this background area. So right now we have the background with a pattern in there. So this pattern is tiled. You can upload a large image and you could have it fill frame, but we have a pattern that tiles, and you have some options here. So if you want to put a texture in the background, upload something that you have, you can go ahead and do that here. I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. So I'm going to clear that section and save it. And you're going to see that we have a background color option up here where we have a top color and a bottom color, and we allow these two colors to blend into each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this color so you can see what happens when two colors are blending into each other. So our top color will be more of a whitish gray, and our bottom color will be this yellowish green, and when I click save, you're going to see that white blend into that green, and so it'll create a gradient for you. And the further down you get, the more yellow it'll get, and so on. So if you want it to be a solid color, you'll just paste in the same color for the top and bottom, and it'll blend those two colors into each other, which will create just a flat same color blended into itself. And those are the options that you have with the Sarin template. I hope it was informative, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much.